This story is an adaptation based on Melissa's story. My name is Melissa. I'm 21 years old, and I work at a Walmart outside a small town in Alabama. Back when the store still operated 24 hours a day, I mostly worked overnight shifts because I wasn't attending college full-time. My usual schedule was 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. Since it was a supercenter, there were always at least a handful of employees scattered throughout the building during the night shift. Usually a couple cashiers up front, a few stock workers, and maybe a manager hiding somewhere in the back offices. The store sat out in the countryside, so business during those hours was usually dead. Overnight was mainly for restocking shelves and cleaning the store before morning. That night started like any other. I was folding jeans in the men's clothing section while listening to music through one earbud. Most managers didn't care as long as the work got done. Around 11:30 p.m., a customer walked into the aisle and asked if we had a pair of jeans in another waist size. I apologized and told him whatever was on the rack was all we had left. He thanked me politely enough. But as he stood there putting the jeans back, we accidentally made eye contact. Something about the way he stared at me made me uncomfortable. I ignored it and kept working. A couple hours passed, and the store slowly emptied out until it felt like a giant abandoned warehouse. You could look down entire aisles without seeing another person. By around 1 a.m., I'd moved over to the appliance section. I was stocking coffee makers and microwaves from a rolling pallet cart when I noticed movement in the aisle beside me. Since most of the shelves were half empty, I could see clearly between them. Someone was watching me. The moment he realized I noticed him, he quickly looked away. But I recognized his face instantly. Trying not to make it obvious, I pushed my cart farther down the aisle and casually glanced over. He wasn't carrying a basket, a cart, or even a single item. No one shops for 2 hours without picking up anything. Something felt seriously wrong. I quickly finished stocking the shelves and brought the empty cart back to the storage area behind the sales floor. Honestly, I just wanted to get away from him for a while. I sat in the employee lounge scrolling through my phone, trying to convince myself I was overreacting. Eventually I figured I should get back to work, but I decided to switch departments and work grocery instead. I went into the dairy cooler and started loading crates with milk, yogurt, and butter while checking expiration dates. The industrial refrigerators were so loud in there that you could barely hear yourself think. Then suddenly, the cooler door slammed open. I looked up through a narrow gap between stacked boxes on a pallet. And I swear to God, it was him. The same man. Standing inside the employees-only cooler. Pure panic hit me instantly. I ducked behind one of the metal racks and pulled a large box of eggs in front of me. The refrigerator fans were loud enough to cover any noise I made. At that point, I already believed this guy had been following me around the store. But seeing him walk into an employee-only area, I knew something bad was about to happen. I stayed crouched there with my head down, waiting to hear the cooler door open and close again. But it never did. After what felt like forever, I sprinted out of the cooler and nearly crashed into another employee stocking shelves nearby. His name tag said Eric. I grabbed him and started yelling for help. Then, unbelievably, the man calmly walked out of the cooler behind me and apologized like nothing had happened. He claimed he was from corporate. According to him, he'd been secretly checking overnight employees to make sure nobody was slacking off. Eric actually looked like he believed him. I immediately asked why he tried covering my mouth. The man smiled awkwardly and claimed he was only trying to stop me from causing a scene. Then he casually told me to finish stocking appliances before walking away down the aisle. Before he disappeared, I shouted after him, "What's your name?" Without turning around, he answered, "David." Then he vanished. The next day, I spoke directly with one of the store managers and asked whether someone from corporate named David had visited overnight. She immediately said no. Not only was nobody from corporate scheduled to visit, but no corporate employee would ever randomly show up at 2 a.m. without management knowing. They reviewed the security footage and immediately contacted police. The cameras showed the man wandering the store for hours without buying a single thing. Worse, they captured him repeatedly following me between aisles throughout my shift. After that night, I refused to work overnight ever again. I still work there now, but only during the daytime.